What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Monday Night Raw review where we got some healthy, good information going forward when it comes to the draft starting tomorrow and WWE as a whole. So, but before we get to that, let's start this off with what they started off with, which was Cody Rhodes cutting the promo. Now they did advertise. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna say that for afterwards. But Cody Rhodes basically came out to talk about how Chicago basically, because it was at Chicago where he had that match with Seth Rollins where his tore pec and stuff like that. And he just basically talked about how he wanted to show the crowd the scar, and he wanted to thank them because he said they the ones who held him up on their shoulders and helped him get through that match. And when it relates to Brock Lesnar, he doesn't care if Brock Lesnar put more scars on him because it won't keep him down. It won't stop him from beating him at Backlash. But then he will get interrupted by Finn Balor, who basically came out to offer his hand and helping him and wanting him and asked him to join the Judgment Day. Cody Rhodes basically refused. Well, not basically. He did refuse the offer, and then this was set up the match between Finn Balor and Cody Rhodes for later on in the night. Now I can get to that. It was advertised that later on in the show we was going to get a big announcement from Triple H. That they kept promoting that throughout the night too. Like it was just going to be this big announcement. We'll get the first match of the night, which is the bloodline of Jay and Jimmy and Solo teaming up to go against LWO. And I like that LWO have they got a new theme now. Instead of using the El Gato del Fantasma's music, now they use this theme that basically this theme that pays tribute to Eddie Guerrero, because Eddie Guerrero was the person who started LWO. So they new thing now pays tribute to that, because when they come out, it just starts Viva la Raza. But it was a good match. It was a good match, a good tune-up match, because for the bloodline, they're gonna have to face Sami Zayn, Matt Riddle, and Kevin Owens at Backlash. So this was a good little match for the bloodline. And it was a nice little way to get a little. They got LWO over a little bit, not too much as they should, because for them to introduce the LWO, I won't say it was just as good as NWO or NWO Wolfpack, but they was right up there. They were just as popular as them. Not just as, because just as saying they on the same level, but they was up there. They wasn't super just lame or nothing. They was a popular group, and that's the only thing I gotta say was that having them lose is kind of diminishing that legacy of the LWO, but hopefully they turn around in the future. But yeah, the bloodline will get the victory here over the LWO. We got a Sammy and Jay promo on the backstage where Sammy once again is trying to talk some sense into Jay, telling him that basically he need to come to his senses to see that Roman Reigns is not for him, because he tried to tell him about how they keep saying they dedicating the match to the tribal chief, and that he said you should be doing it for yourself, not for Roman, and that you're not getting the titles back, and what you think is going to happen when y'all lose, Friday or tomorrow, and it don't retain. Basically telling him that you're gonna have to face that reality that Roman is really. You're gonna see what Roman is really capable of when you don't come back to him with the titles again. And Jay tells him that why did he care? Why did he care? He made his choice, and like it or not, I made my choice. And that he said that they're gonna tell him that they're gonna be 9 times champions. but you can obviously tell that something was on the mind of Jay. Um, do I have him? I did not mark it. So I'm just gonna say now. Later on in the night, there was another backstage promo with Jimmy Solo and Jay, where they was back there talking about how they gonna win the titles back and whatnot. But you could tell that Jay has allowed his mind, and that he was elsewhere. He was doing one of those like yeah, and they could tell he wasn't really listening. And he was like, what you say? Oh no, I just got no. What Sammy said started to get it to him, so he even told Jimmy like, but what if like what if we don't win? Like, what do you think Roman gonna do with us if we don't win? Like, and, he was like, what, you been talking to Sammy and all that type of stuff. And so Jimmy got mad, got up to go find Sammy. More on that later. We would get to the second match of the night, which is the Street Profits versus Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, which was out of nowhere. Now I heard that was on backstage. Vince McMahon had his whole fingerprints on it, so a lot of stuff got changed. They said, I think they said originally this was supposed to be like, I think it was. They said either Mia Yim versus Piper Niven or what's her name? EL Sky versus Piper Niven. It was supposed to be They said it was supposed to be a women's match, but it got changed to this, which was out of left field because they Shelton and Benjamin and Cedric Alexander just been back there in catering for a long time. They probably got some TV shine tonight. But ultimately, this was a fun little tag team match. Nothing too too noteworthy. Montez Ford did his thing, always being the highlight. But other than that, the basic standard tag team match with the Street Profits getting the victory. And now for maybe like if I'm looking at my list, probably the biggest promo of the night, which is Triple H announcement. So Triple H basically came out and announced that that he talked about how Roman Reigns is the undisputed champion, and that all the accolades they give him, but he even though he don't blame him, he said because it was what he would have done. He said Roman Reigns has negotiated where he doesn't have to defend the undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship as often, and that he he don't like I said, he don't blame him, don't even but yet he knows we deserve more. We deserve a champion that's going to be there every week and defend the title. So with that being said, he unveiled, which I remind you it's been rumored for a long time now, and confirmed by Triple H. It was rumored first, then Triple H confirmed it, that he did have a new title that being made, and we finally got to see what that new title is. And instead of it being a completely brand new title, it's a new title, but it's like version, I would say, 3 of the World Heavyweight Championship. And it didn't come to a surprise, because Triple H has said in the past that not in character, but in actual interviews as Paul Levesque, he's basically said that he's a huge, like, out of all the belts, he's a huge fan of the World Heavyweight Championship belt and its design. So it was only appropriate that the new belt is just a new design version of the World Heavyweight Championship. Same faceplate, but if y'all probably seen it by now, it got like a WWE logo in the middle of it, a big WWE logo in the middle of it. Instead of the WWE logo being like up here, up at the top, it's like in the middle, just like this belt, but it still look like the World Heavyweight Championship, and and it got the side plates too with it. It looked good. It took a minute to grow on me because of the huge WWE logo in the middle of it, but it grew on me. He also announced that it would be the new World Heavyweight Champion for whatever show, because he said whatever show Roman gets drafted to, the other show is going to have the World Heavyweight Championship. So, example, if Roman gets drafted to Raw, the new World Heavyweight Championship would be the main title for SmackDown. And if he stays on SmackDown, then Raw will have it, because he said whenever so Roman goes on, both the WWE and the Universal title is going to stay there with him. And it's been rumored that once that happens, they're going to discontinue the Universal Championship and just make his they just make it like fuse into one belt. It'll just be this belt again, but they're gonna call it the Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship, but it's just gonna be the WWE Championship, and his reign would carry over to there. But there's also been rumors too that he's gonna they could possibly discontinue the WWE, but I don't think they are, because of the legacy and the lineage this championship has. So it's most likely going to be the Universal. Because of what you're going to do with 3 world titles. Yeah, but it's going to take place on May 27th at Night of Champions, which is going to be a Saudi Arabia show for that, if that means anything to you guys. But yeah, new title. I'm about to go through this real quickly. Not going to spend too much time on that promo. The next match, which was a tag team match that was set up with a backstage promo between Bianca Belair and Damage Control, which Io Sky and them kind of like, with Io kind of challenged Bianca to a 1-on-1, but Dakota and Bayley got involved, making it a tag team match instead of what Io wanted, and then it ended up becoming Bianca Belair and Raquel and Liv versus Damage Control, which was a nice little tag team match. Nothing too exciting, nothing too noteworthy. Just gave the more momentum to Liv and Raquel and Bianca Belair. Though it did show some dissension between Damage Control, because you could tell it looked like Io was not pleased with what Dakota and them did. Also, Theory would cut a promo next about being the best and being the greatest United States champion of all time, but that he had a problem with the level of respect that being shown to him by the fact that he didn't even choose his opponents, because it was revealed that at Backlash he's going to be defending the United States Championship in a triple threat match against Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. And that he wanted to know what the level of respect that, as he sees himself the greatest United States champion. He didn't get the respect enough to pick his opponents, but then Bobby Lashley would come out and scold him for telling him that I've been in the ring with you, I know how tough you are, I know how good you are, but it seems like you don't know it, and that I don't know if you're lazy or not. But to answer your question, he's the one who requested the triple threat match. And that he has no problem with Austin Theory, but that I think he called him like kid or something, and told him that he was gonna take the title at Backlash, and that Austin, I think he said something else to Austin Theory that made him Austin Theory, it wasn't Bobby Lashley, so Austin Theory made fun of Bobby Lashley but he was like, you could go backstage and request this match, but what happened to your match? If you got all that type of pull, what happened to your match at WrestleMania? And that angered Bobby Lashley to where he wanted to punch his teeth out, to which Austin Theory said, whoa, before you do that, and then try to get the jump, thus starting a brawl between Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley that ended up featuring Bronson Reed. As he came out of nowhere, they would double team Bobby Lashley, lay him out, but then Bronson Reed would lay Austin Theory out with a tsunami splash, and stand tall over both of them, holding up the United States Championship. And it's rumored that he might actually get the title put on him at Backlash. We got the next match, which was Chad Gable versus Mustafa Ali. Of course, they was gonna have Mustafa Ali on the show because it was in Chicago, his hometown. Nothing too noteworthy here. Nice, good match between the two because they both work well with each other. But Mustafa Ali got the victory here. Then we get to Finn Balor versus Cody Rhodes, which was a great match. This was a great match between the two. This was a great match between the two. I forgot too. Austin Theory cut a promo. Like most of the stars, like Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, I'm gonna get to in a minute. They all cut promos about the new championship. But yeah, it was a good match between the two. And Cody Rhodes would end up getting the victory over Finn Balor and standing tall. I like that he hit the pedigree too. It's like he uses the pedigree now on top of his move. I forgot to mention too that Jimmy eventually did find Sammy and try to play mind games with Sammy because he believed that's what Sammy was doing, but Sammy trying to tell him, I'm not trying to play mind games. I'm trying to smarten y'all up to the facts of what's really going on with the bloodline and how Roman really going to react. And Jimmy basically tried to play mind games, telling Sammy that he's the one that's going to get betrayed, and that when he lose the tag team titles, Kevin Owens is going to betray you because Kevin Owens didn't forget. If you think Kevin Owens forgot what you did to him, he didn't forget. He didn't forgive you. I remember. You think he forgive you for all those kicks to his face that you did to him? Yeah, no, because I didn't. I was with you. I remember because I was standing there with you every single time, and he basically told him that that's going to be the reason why Kevin Owens betrayed him when they lose the titles, which now got Sammy thinking. Seth Rollins would then come out and cut a promo. He was going to cut a promo about, and maybe I missed this one last week, but apparently it's going to be Omos versus Seth Rollins at Backlash, and he said he was going to come out and cut a promo and ask the crowd what they thought about his match at Backlash with Omos, but then he turned his attention to the new championship and said that the championship. He said it's some of us who still want to fight, and this championship represents that. It represents that us who still want to fight and fight for the top, to be the top prize, to be the top champion, and that he said at Night of Champions he put his money on himself to be the new champion, but out comes Omos and MVP, who showered Seth Rollins with accolades, but telling him that he's overlooked, he's getting too far ahead of himself, looking to Night of Champions, because after Omos get done with him, he might not make it to Night of Champions. To which Seth Rollins said he undersold Omos, because Omos it really is this big, once in a lifetime athlete because of himself. But he said you're just once in a lifetime because you was born that way, while I'm once in a lifetime because I made myself that way. And that he said he's going to beat Omos at Backlash. Then we get the main event. Oh, there was a backstage promo with Kevin Owens. We finally see Kevin Owens and Matt Riddle, which we found out that Matt Riddle's been driving Kevin Owens insane the whole night, and he's been wondering where Sammy was until Sammy revealed that he's been talking to Jay and eventually Jimmy. And Kevin Owens can't understand why he keeps talking to them. He said he like what he said. You really trying to save them from Roman, trying to pull them out and make sure nothing happens to them. But he said I get it. I like the Usos too before they became Roman's lackeys, but it's too late for them. And that wherever happens to them, wherever Roman does to them when they win, because they need to win, that's what he need to be focused on. Wherever Roman does, that's what they deserve for allowing themselves to be manipulated like that. And then he would walk off with Sammy still and confusing and predicting, thinking like what if he could betray me. But then Riddle came with some advice, telling him that he understands what he's going through. But then Sammy thought to himself, how can you understand? But then Riddle laid some knowledge on him. He was like, I was in the same boat with RK Bro, and everybody kept telling him that Randy Orton was going to RKO him, to which Randy never did because he actually trusted Randy Orton. Randy Orton actually liked the Riddle and never RKO'd him, and that's how they formed RK Bro. It was actually this good tag team. And that everything was okay with them, and everything was going to be okay with him and Kevin Owens. To which it looked like it puts Sammy at ease. Now we get to the main event, which is Rey Mysterio versus Damian Priest, which I'm like, wow, they really gave them two the main event spot. which it wasn't a bad match, but I understood why. It wasn't a bad match. Was it main event worthy? Kinda, sorta, but it was still it was a good match nonetheless. Hard hitting. Rey Mysterio almost got the victory a couple times, but he actually did get the victory. After getting the best of Damian Priest would get mad and go get a chair and try to hit Rey Mysterio with it, but Rey Mysterio would stop him, and then they would fight for control with the chair, but Rey Mysterio would stop him again. To which Rey Mysterio eventually hit the 619 on Damian Priest and was getting ready to go to the top ropes with a West Coast pop, but Damian Priest would just yeet the down chair into Rey Mysterio's head, giving Rey Mysterio the victory via DQ. But after I think Damian Priest was going for a post-match beatdown. After the night of teasing Bad Bunny's arrival, he finally arrived with a kendo stick and got into a battle with Damian Priest, to which resulted with him beating him with a kendo stick in the ring, outside the ring, over there by the announcer table that Damian Priest cleared off to put Rey Mysterio through after the DQ finish. And Bad Bunny would beat him on there, but Damian Priest looked like he was getting ready to choke slam him through the table again, but he would get out of it and hit Damian on the leg and then hit him again. And got the microphone and told Damian Priest that if he didn't know, he's letting him know now. He's not going to be the host. He's not the host anymore of Backlash, and that in his hometown of Puerto Rico, his home of Puerto Rico, he's going to Puerto Rico to whoop Damian Priest's ass in a street fight match. Overall, this was a very good. I would say this was a very good episode of Monday Night Raw. Maybe not a perfect good, but very good. Had some nice little stories. We got some more clarity on what's going on for the with the draft and what's going to happen moving forward. So I would say I would give this episode of Monday Night Raw. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It was good. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Nothing was bad about it. Maybe the fact that the only thing I could say was the notion that Vince McMahon had his hands on it, cutting segments and stuff. But you could tell Triple H tried his best to clear it up, and I think he did a good job clearing up Vince McMahon's little rearranging and cutting stuff and having stuff this way instead of going the way it's supposed to go. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoyed, you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed the video so much and want to support the channel, you know what to do. Hit those buttons. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere. Got more. Peace.